Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Energy is sacred and it's our greatest currency. And I really do believe as I get older that life has been my greatest teacher. And something that I have learned time and time again was that where I put my energy really determines how my life goes. And what we do with that energy, how we nurture it, where we share it, how we protect it, that really is an act of self-love. Now, something that I had to learn the hard way was that I am not capable of compartmentalizing in the way that some people are. I can't share my energy with negative people or with low vibrating people and not also be in the pit with them. Now, something that I have learned from amazing women that have literally just been like mentors in my life is that when we decenter men, we actually can transform our lives. And I think that this is a little bit of a deeper discussion than men because I don't believe that men are necessarily the problem. I believe it takes two to tango, and that what a lot of women are searching for within men, they feel like men can provide them that they can't provide within themselves, and vice versa. And the truth is, that's not the case. I don't want this topic to be really focused on men in general, but I want it to be focused on the dangers of putting all of your energy into something that is unfulfilling, negative, or beneath your standard of living, or at least beneath the standard of what you want your living to be. Because a lot of the times we're like, well, this is all I can get right now. But is it what you desire long term? Is this something that is important to you? And I find that a lot of people who center their life around things that are vibrating lower than their frequency, their aura is missing. They have lost their je ne sais quoi. They have lost their pizzazz, myself included. Life has been my best teacher. I have lost myself in many different situations, and I've had to learn this lesson time and time again. I've also heard this from other women. And it's really important for me to speak on topics that I have finally allowed to click in my head to share with either younger women who have not experienced this yet, or with women who are trying to gain better discernment. So this topic is so important for your leveling up journey. And if you're someone who wants to be exceptional in life, you want to be powerful, you find yourself to be somewhat gifted or magnetic, this video is for you. This is not for people who are vibrating on a low frequency, who want little for themselves. Hey, you could still get something from the video, but it's more specifically for women who find that they are struggling between their gifts and all of the things that bring them down, because there is a reason why you're feeling a lot of resistance, and it's because you have not fully decentered that from your life. So we're going to get into why it's important and why it will completely transform the trajectory of all of your goals that you have set out for yourself. Okay, let's talk about something real for a second. Prior to starting my 50-pound weight loss journey, I used to be so obsessed with the scale. If a number went up or down, it would really determine how I felt for the week, and it was definitely a very unhealthy obsession with my weight loss journey. But here's what I've learned. Weight alone does not tell the full story. So I want to talk about Hume Health, which has an amazing scale called the Body Pod. And it's a game changer in my current journey to just wellness and health. Unlike a regular scale, it actually measures my full body composition with medical grade accuracy. It shows muscle mass, fat percentage, and heart health. So back in the day when I would weigh myself, I couldn't tell the difference of whether I was losing weight or just gaining muscle. This particular scale actually tells you what it is that you're doing, building, and creating with your journey. So I'm actually going on vacation next month, and I have been definitely kicking myself into gear to getting a little bit more fit. And I have been using the Body Pod to track my progress for this journey. So it shows exactly where I'm burning fat and gaining muscle. And what's an amazing plus to having this particular scale is you get the Hume app. It gives you AI-powered insights based off of your sleep, your nutrition, and your workout. So you know exactly what you need to improve, which I absolutely love. So right now you guys can save 50% off using my own personal discount code, and I will leave it on the screen and down below in the description box for you guys today. I really think you're going to love this scale. It definitely gives a little bit more insight to what you can work on and gives a little bit more perspective so that you're not freaking out about the number and you know know exactly what your journey is doing for you. So if you are building muscle or doing Pilates or doing heavy cardio or just doing certain things, you're going to be able to see it a little bit more in depth using this scale. If you're in the US, it is HSA and FSA eligible, so your insurance actually might cover it. Click the link below to grab yours and start tracking your progress today. Trust me, if you're serious about your health, you will absolutely love this. And let me know in the comments what's one thing that you guys wish you knew before you started your fitness journey. All right, let's get into the rest of today's topic. When we pour into the wrong things, it doesn't just affect our life, it affects our appearance, it affects our magnetism, it affects what doors are open for us. Have you ever experienced a time where you were possibly in a really weird place or you were dealing with a really shitty guy and every day you would walk into life and you just felt like the world was crashing in? Nobody was hitting on you, you felt your ugliest. That is not coincidental. There is a reason for that, and it's all about energy. Energy is so important, and it's something that should not be taken advantage of or overlooked. So I think I did a video a few months back. I want to say it was almost a year ago, and it was about decentering men and why I love being single. And something that I have learned from that video, because I remember I watched it back recently and I really loved it. I thought it was a great video. But something that I remember about my psyche during that time was that I was trying to reverse psychology my life. I thought that if I decentered men, that it would also in return attract men, which it does. But that is not the reason why decentering men is important and crucial for your life, because again, you're now still performing. You're still doing something to appease someone that is not deserving of it. And then what ends up happening is you meet someone who's maybe meeting your criteria and your boundaries, and all of the self-work that you've done or all of the things that you've been trying to achieve or the hobbies you've been pouring into all go by the wayside because you landed that one thing that all those things got you. And that is not the point of doing all of this. It is not to get a man to like you. I really need you guys to understand that men like literally anything. They are very simple, and no matter how much work you put into yourself, at the end of the day, if you're his person, you're his person. If you're not, you're not. That's just the way it goes, okay? I don't feel any type of pain around love. I just have redefined it in my life, and I want to share it because I think that this is the missing piece in a lot of your lives, and that is why your aura is just so shot. It's why it's just not radiating the way that it used to or the way that it should, because maybe you guys have never tapped into it at all. I found that my intention for decentering men came from a place of still performing. It was my way of trying to create stronger boundaries and look like a woman of high value and to just be someone that was respected in a high regard. But what I found to be very lonely about that experience was that you still don't get the outcome that you're looking for because a lot of people just aren't vibrating high at all. So you're trying to be met with these experiences that are just never going to happen. Granted, you'll meet people along the way that will provide you with a decent and high quality experience from time to time. But at the end of the day, doing something for something in return usually isn't coming from an authentic or genuine place. And what I have found to be the most fulfilling in this process has been realizing that the reason I am trying to do this is to get closer to myself, is to get closer to my purpose. The reason why I stopped liking the things that I once liked was because it didn't feel good anymore. I used to be such a relationship girly. I would jump from man to man to man. It was something that I enjoyed. It was something that I thought was fun and exciting until I didn't. Until I realized that my true purpose was in my job, was in being a homemaker, was being someone who has dogs. And there are so many things that I enjoy way more than being a girlfriend. And that's not to say that I don't enjoy that. It's just, it was unhealthy for me to center my life around something that wasn't giving me much in return. And I say all this to say that I find that when you are fully pouring into yourself as a woman and you are actually doing what is meant for you, your aura radiates so bright and so many doors open for you, and then you actually get what it is that you want in the end after all. I really need a lot of you ladies to stand up. That is first and foremost. You need to be a lover and a leaver. I know that this sounds like a line, like a gimmick, but it's not. Something that I know about myself is that I'm a very passionate, loving woman. And I tend to really see the beauty in a person quickly. That's just who I am. It doesn't really take me a long time to see if I like someone or not. Granted, I do believe that my like will dwindle the more I get to know somebody if their qualities that are negative supersede their positive qualities. But if I like someone initially, I kind of really just like them. And I tend to really show that. I'm a very compassionate person. I'm very generous. I'm understanding. I listen. I give you my time, my energy, my spirit. And what that really did to me was it depleted me. So I really need you guys to understand that you can't pour from an empty cup. Stop depleting your energy because you like someone. Stop depleting your energy because you want time with someone. Stop depleting your energy because somebody wants you to. You need to actually pour from a cup that's full. How have you been giving yourself the life that you want and deserve before you start giving it to someone else, before you start giving a piece of yourself to people? You have to ask yourself, what are you giving to yourself daily? It's really important that we take responsibility for where our energy goes and where it flows. Stop calling people energy vampires. Stop saying that people are stealing your peace, and remove yourself early. Be a lover and a leaver. If you can't stop loving, that's fine. Listen, we all have hearts, and some of us have bigger ones than others, and some of us are just a little bit more irresponsible with ours than others. And what I've learned about myself is if I'm going to be irresponsible with my heart and love people quickly, then I have to be able to leave when my peace feels like it's being disrupted, when I feel like my energy is being taken from me and it's not being reciprocated properly. So stop sitting around giving people all of you and then being mad 6, 8 months, 10 months later, like, oh my God, where am I? That is how you lose your aura. You will start to literally look ugly. You will look tired. You will look ugly. You will look disturbed. It needs to end. You need to leave while it's early. Stop hoping and wishing and praying for a new outcome. It's literally not going to happen. People show you who they are early, and you have to believe them. So if you're seeing something that you don't like, and stop thinking people are going to change. This is a great way to start getting your aura back when you feel like you've lost it, or to just start respecting yourself more. This can really be applied in so many different instances. It's not just with men. It could be with friends, with family, with coworkers, with people on the street. You need to stop giving all of yourself to people. This is how you lose your aura in the first place. So decentering the entire idea of people pleasing. Stop giving people what it is that you think they need and start giving it to yourself. Learn how to remove yourself better from things. You will save yourself so much time and energy. And I really do believe that you can waste your own time. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's just a lesson, this, that, and the third. No, people waste their time every day, all day long. And you gotta stop. You don't have all of these years that you can just get back. If you waste your time with people who are literally showing you what they're doing with your time and it's not something that you find to be actually positive, leave early. It's not going to change. You are responsible for that. Now, the next way to get your aura back and to actually decenter men properly is to focus on your path that is rooted in purpose and passion. I find that women that are the happiest are women who are pouring into themselves and pouring into their gifts in a way that allows them to be more feminine, creative, and to create abundance in their life. You know that joke that you don't need a boyfriend, you just need to get rich? It is such a legitimate thing. I really can advocate for it because, listen, I'm not saying that when I started making money, I didn't want men anymore, but I definitely think that it highlighted all of the things that was missing from my life prior that I was finding in men. So when you do go out and outsource relationally, your standards just increase because you're vibrating higher. When you make more money, you start spending more money, you start looking different, you start acting different. And it's not coming from a place of fakeness, but it's because you're vibrating at the frequency that you're now at. And that changes the more you increase your income. So if you're living a certain way, you realize that there are just certain people who cannot sit at your table. And it's not coming from a place of I'm looking down on you, but it's because they can't provide you with anything that you can't provide yourself. And when you do start allowing people into your world, you have to ask them or ask yourself internally, what can this person do for my life? How am I gaining something from this? Because at the end of the day, relationships are transactional. Whether you like it or not, they are. And you have to figure out, well, what is the investment? Is this going to cost me or am am I going to gain something from it? And I really do believe that if you are a woman who is really resting in your divine feminine, you're going to want to be around people who you are benefiting from them being in your life. Because the more that you allow people to take, the more you're going to be depleted and the more you're going to be vibrating lower. You can lose things just as quickly as you got them. And you really have to be mindful of who you keep around you and why. Being abundant is about understanding where you need to put your energy and time. So that is why I say focus on your purpose and your passion. That is something that is going to give you undeniable joy, undeniable fulfillment. And you're going to find that a lot of the things that you've been searching for in other people were really just in your purpose. You found the joy, the fulfillment, the love, the abundance, the knowledge, the money. You found all of that in your purpose, in your passion. So start going towards that and focus on that. During this time, figure out where you want to spend your time, where you want to see yourself. Because if people become your purpose, you will constantly be chasing a feeling for the rest of your life because people can't be your purpose. It's just impossible. Nobody is going to live up to the things that you need to find fulfillment within. Okay, the next way to positively decentering men and getting your aura back is building connections with people in a way that actually resets the bar for how you date. Something that I've learned about myself is I was okay with shitty behavior from men when I had shitty friends. I was okay with shitty behavior from men when I was at odds with my family. And when you're going through a lot of trials and tribulations with family and you're constantly fighting with them, and or you meet a lot of women who you can become friends with and they backstab you, you put up with a lot of BS from men because this has been your reality. And you find that at least, okay, well, this particular man, at least I'm getting something out of it because it is a romantic connection. When I healed parts of myself, when I started building connections that meant something, a lot of the love that I was searching for in romantic connections were given to me in my platonic friendships. A lot of the reassurance, the validation, the love, the admiration, the consistency, the feeling a part of something, the feeling seen, all of these things I found in platonic friendships. I found them in just getting to know people who genuinely want to be a part of my life. I ask myself, like, well, why would I want to put up with a person who can't do the basic bare minimum things that my own friends do for me? It's people who love and care about me. And listen, they didn't always love and care about me the way they do now. But even in the beginning stages of me building a friendship, I was being met with people who cared, who were compassionate, who were understanding, who were consistent. And that should be the bare minimum of what you should be looking for in a romantic dynamic. And a lot of you guys are saying, well, like, I want to share my life with someone, and I get it. But you are sharing your life with people. You share your life with people every day when you build connections with friends, when you start to repair and heal parts of you, when you start to figure out how you can get on with your family better. And I know everyone's situation is different, but I'm telling you from experience, the stronger and more durable connections you build in your life, the less you're gonna want to be in a romantic dynamic that's chaotic or that is taking away from you, that is depleting your energy. Toxicity likes toxicity. And if you're not toxic anymore because your circle is better, you're not gonna wanna date it either. And something else I've learned is, let's just say you can't build community. You don't really have friends that you can have. Well, let me tell you something. The more you pour into yourself and you become your own best friend, you also realize that the peace that you give yourself in your day-to-day life, you don't want to be disrupted either. You don't want someone to come into your life and cause havoc because you have created a space that is an environment of love, respect, and peace. And someone who can deplete you of that and remove your aura from you is not someone you want a part of that. So what I have learned is, regardless of your situation, whether you're building a circle of influence and friends versus just kind of being a loner and working on yourself, both things can really help you in identifying what not to allow into your life, what not to focus on in your life. And sometimes it takes lessons, it takes time and time again. I know for myself that I have met people that started off really great and I let them into my world and then I realized that they weren't. And so then I kind of removed myself. And that just takes discernment. This allows you to see where you need to set the bar in your life, and it allows you to radiate positive energy rather than coming from a place of like a jaded perspective. You don't want to be someone who's a cynic who walks around life being like, I hate love, I hate men. No, you don't hate those things. You're just not willing to accept bad behavior. You're not willing to accept someone who is going to deplete you of your energy. And I have even learned and realized in Ascension that a lot of people are not there. They're just not ascending. So you're gonna be lonely at times and in different moments of your life because most people are not gonna be at the top, and a lot of people are gonna wanna bring you down, drag you to the pit with them, and they are going to try to take away everything it took for you to build this beautiful version of yourself, whether it was someone that you already were or someone that you built. People wanna take that from you, and you have to be very mindful. I also think it's really crucial in your decentering men journey and also in just kind of allowing your aura to come back to redefine what love, relationships, sex, and all of these things look like for you. I found that what my struggle was that I was listening to so many different people about what I should do that it didn't feel supernatural to me, and then I wasn't able to stick with it. What I have found to be really important is to get to know yourself on a deep level. What do you know about yourself in relationships, in dynamics where you are sharing yourself, in dynamics where you are giving someone something? And how can you do those things in a way that you benefit rather than it taking away from everything you are? How can you have intimacy with someone and it not deplete you? Everyone is different, right? So I know for me that I am incapable of having a long-term partnership, intimacy situation with a person without loving them. So if there is no love present, I am going to crash out. It's going to take away from me because I'm going to be in a constant place where I'm going to try to prove myself to them, or I'm going to want something that they cannot provide. And it will be a very toxic dynamic of me chasing something that I will never catch. Therefore, I no longer want to step into dynamics where that's going to be the case. I will not ever start a situationship intentionally because I know what it does to my life. It completely wrecks my entire world because I'm so fixated on that person. So I'm not saying that I am actively trying to be celibate, but I definitely know that I cannot build a long-term intimacy situation with a person who is not intentional about dating me. And that's that. So you need to figure out what things you can handle and what things you can't, and redefine your relationships with those things. What does a relationship look like for you? What does a healthy sex life look like for you? What does a healthy dynamic between you and a man or you and a friend look like for you, so that you can actually have the most beautiful aura and you don't allow it to take away from you? How can you observe without absorbing? Really take inventory of that. And everyone is different. So figure out what it is that is going to trigger a nasty response in you or a negative feeling that's going to bring you down a road that is going to be a lot more difficult to recover from. Because at the end of the day, listen, you will eventually get off the train, right? But you don't want to get off 40 blocks down if you can help it. Get off early by realizing, okay, you know what? As much as this would be fun and as much as I like this person, it's just not for me. This is going to cause me a lot of pain and discomfort, and I am incapable of being someone who can go through that. Especially right now, I'm working on my passions, my purpose, my dreams, my goals. I cannot let this particular low vibrational moment distract me. And then cut it. Cut it off. And a huge thing to take inventory of is stop spinning the block on pain. A lot of you guys like to go back and circle the drain and figure out, okay, well, how can I rewrite this story? You can't. You can't, okay? Stop going back to old things. Stop going in places where you have found yourself broken and enfeeble. It is so bad for your mental health and your emotional health to go back to places that have given you so much pain and discomfort. And I get it. I think that we should heal as people and we should look at things differently. But listen, some things are meant to be healed from and then moved on from. Not spinning the block and proving that you're healed. No. We are still human at the end of the day, and the body keeps score. The body knows what it's been through, and it knows where it was sick from. I will never forget, I came in contact with a person that I dealt with that really caused me a lot of pain. And I spoke with him for like a brief moment, and I went home that night and I threw up. I believe that was my body keeping score. It was like my body was ridding itself of this person's energy. That person was so contagious in such a bad way in my life when I had them. And even just seeing them afterwards, it gave me such bad vibes and it made me physically ill. Stop spinning the block on pain and elevate and ascend and don't look back, okay? You want to get your aura back, you need to do just that. Stop trying to prove to yourself that you're stronger and you're able to forgive. You can still forgive and literally forget. And by forget, I mean don't go back. And I think the last and final point that I really want to make is to heal parts of you that struggle with attachments. If you're someone who grew up with an avoidant parent or an anxious parent, or you just had like a specific upbringing that left you feeling like you were missing something in your life, it's going to always keep you in dynamics that are unhealthy. You're going to be chasing that feeling and trying to rewrite that story with partners that are not good for you. You're going to find a person who reminds you of the person who hurt you, and then you're going to keep trying to rewrite the story with that person. But what you're going to keep getting met with is the same experience over and over and over again, because you're not understanding that there is a reason why that person cannot give you what you're looking for. You have to grow out of the obsession with trying to get the same person to see you and realize that they were never meant to see you because their frequency is low, their vibration is low. They were never meant to have you in their life. They were never meant to experience you that way. Let them idealize you from afar and move forward. Do not be in constant dynamics with people who are showing you the exact thing that you cannot stand. You're trying to rewrite history, and it's unhealthy. Definitely look into that and figure out why you're doing that to yourself. And I'm telling you, you will get met with different experiences. And again, we're not trying to date. We're trying to heal so that we stop obsessing with the idea of having people in our lives and thinking it's going to make our lives better. What I have learned in all of this is that nobody can give me the life that I want better than myself, because I'm the one who wants it. It's my dream. It's my passion. It's my purpose. It's for me to handle. And yes, we see people with success stories who have magical lives, but I do believe it comes at a cost. I believe it comes at a cost when you're given everything and you didn't try to at least give it to yourself. Give it to yourself first and see what happens. I do believe that what you want and desire will be meant for you. You just have to manifest it differently. And stop focusing on the things that you can't change. Focus on what you can change. You can't change others, but you can change yourself. So start with you, and you'll see that this journey actually is something that is simple. I really want you guys to leave down below how you guys have really been able to improve your life by decentering men. I know that it sounds a little bit dramatic, but I think a lot of women either figured this out later in life or they figured it out early and they got really lucky. But I want to hear from you guys. What happened for you when you did this? Did you have a glow up? Did you start looking better? Did you start, making more money? Did you start seeing people differently? Like, I'm so curious. Leave it down below. I want to hear from you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone. Mwah.